A double.
You deserve it.
I was trying very hard to make something that an actual family, whatever there was in the 70s, could watch together.
Fonzie, you're staying here, and I don't want to hear another word about it.
Hey, Mrs. C, my mother used to talk to me like that. The only one who used to get away with it, too. Until you. I accept your invitation.
The Brady Bunch.
Nostalgia was not the only way television addressed the changing nature of the American family. The Brady Bunch brought two widowed parents together and created television's most enduring stepfamily.
You ought to see those kids sitting in there watching television like nothing had ever happened.
Careful, Mr. Brady. They might just be recharging their batteries.
Oh, I don't think so, Alice. Not after all the lessons they learned today.
She's right. From here on out, it's going to be smooth sailing.
Hey, we were watching a ball game. Well, we want to sing a travel show. But it's a tie score.
Did you say smooth sailing?
Ball game.
Okay, we sprung a leak.
If the Bradys lived in a never-ending 50s fantasy, the Partridge family clearly inhabited the 70s, complete with pop stardom, a resident heartthrob, and a level-headed mom raising 5 kids on her own.
Mom, I need $7. Right now? Yeah, it's for my yearbook. Today's the last day.
Figures. All right, go and look into my purse. I hope I have enough.
Thanks.
Mom, I'm missing a button on my shirt. You're going to have to sew it on for me.
I'll take care of it.
Thanks, Laurie. Wear a different shirt. Would I be a terrible mother if I made a confession?
No.
I really look forward to the moment when all of you have gone to school and I can sit down with my cup of coffee and read the morning newspaper.
Sure was different before the divorce, when Daddy was around.
Yeah, I know. You used to wrap him around your little finger. Well, now, my darling, I'm going to have to be both mother and father.
What made television change was the constituency of women changing. Television was beginning to recognize life in showing single mothers, but it was controversial for them to be divorced. If you saw your own situation reflected, it played an enormous role in making you feel less alone.
You're a lady in her mid-30s with a 12-year-old son.
So? I'm a 35-year-old woman with a 12-year-old kid. You make it sound like a disease. When your father and I broke up, I was scared, plenty scared, but I didn't want you kids knowing it because you were very rocky yourselves. So I played it very big. Took back my maiden name. Annie Romano, liberated woman, master of her fate. Well, the master had a disaster. I don't know everything. Oh, maybe I don't know anything. But I'm trying.
70s television also chose to confront the true-to-life problems of real people, creating powerful and eloquent drama in a groundbreaking show simply titled Family.
I'm not sure the two of you could make room for each other under one roof. One mistress in the house.
We may have no choice.
Well, there's always a nursing home.
No.
Oh, no, you can't say no, just...
No, I won't even talk about it. Not for my mother. We're a family, for God's sake. We'll have her here to live with us. And we'll make it work.
Good.
She wouldn't go anyway.
There was something about that show that said, this is us, this is me I'm watching. We showed them every problem that they had and maybe how to solve it. And if you couldn't solve it, how to live through it.
Look, buddy, I'm not supposed to tell you, but it doesn't seem fair you not knowing.
Not knowing what?
Mom's okay, but there's a problem. She went to the doctor, and he found a lump on her breast.
Does she have cancer?
No. She might have. They'll know Monday when they get the test back.
The reason the show was easy to do, every writer that came in to write for us had problems with his family. You can't tell me, no one can tell me that you had a family life where you had no problems.
This family's falling apart.
At the end of the 70s, viewers discovered a new primetime family, one unrivaled for its greed, indulgence, and dysfunction.
She's a drunk, Cliff. She's gonna kill herself and her baby if she doesn't get help.
She's my wife, JR.
My marriage is my business, Bob. We're family, JR.
Stop that shouting in this house!
Now we got the makings of a fine family.
Dallas was a family that America at once was both enamored of and wanted to hate.
Let's cut out all this talk about bellboys and horseback riding and clear the air in this room.
Jock, no.
Bad enough during dinner, Ellie. I can't stand any more of it.
Daddy, I don't think you can clear 16 years of air in just one sitting.
Sure we can, Bobby. We take it simple. Who did what to who? Who needs forgiving? Who needs to forgive? We can stand eyeball to eyeball and get it over with all at once. If anybody wants to punch me in the mouth, just stand up and do it right now.
How fitting that a decade populated by so many untraditional families on television would close with the emergence of the Ewings.
TV didn't reflect the times in a way that would turn people off.
There were old people being afraid of getting old. There were young people in conflict with each other. There were rites of passage. There were sibling rivalries all over the place.
There were all kinds of families on television. I think that was very productive and very healthy. We're all different. We're all eclectic. And I think that's what television should be, because there is no one kind of family in this country.
When we return, Mike Wallace, Phil Donahue, and the birth of reality television. Stay with us.
Good evening, I'm Hugh Downs. As co-anchor of 2020, I spent the latter part of the 70s introducing viewers to what would become one of the most successful and enduring types of shows on television. News and sports had long made popular television fare. But as the 70s progressed, new technology made it possible to feed viewers growing appetite for real stories about real people and to provide live action from around the world. The results, the investigative news magazine, the daytime talk show, and exhilarating, innovative sports programming opened up the world of reality television as we know it today.
There can be no whitewash at the White House.
Just how safe is a nuclear power plant?
Take your power and ram the system, bam.
Ali seems to have recaptured some punching ability.
The 70s were a time when any innocence that somebody might have brought to the beginning of the decade was totally wiped out by the end of the decade.
America, you might say, in the 70s, had a lot on its mind, and we had enough chutzpah to presume to give it to them.
Suddenly you had the pictures, you had the characters, you had the people, you had the questions, you had the reportage. And it was television that had the most profound effect upon us Americans.
This is a CBS News special report. Here again is Walter Cronkite.
This is the 2027th day of the Nixon presidency, and all the indications are that it is the last.
One of the most important events of the 70s began as a controversial investigation by Washington Post reporters Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein. But it was not until television picked up the story that Watergate became a household word.
When CBS News and Walter Cronkite talked about Watergate, then the American people listened.
At first, it was called the Watergate Caper.
It lent credibility to the conclusions we had reached from the evidence of Watergate. Here is your work for months, and finally Walter Cronkite blesses it.
Engrossed by the real-life drama unfolding before them, millions of viewers made live coverage of the Senate Watergate hearings the most watched daytime program during the summer of 1973.